Joining us now, one of today's award recipients, Michigan's Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. In 2020, she oversaw the election in her state in the face of death threats from Trump supporters and personal attacks from then President Donald Trump himself. Secretary Benson, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. You've been on with us previously talking about what the time around that election was like for you. You had armed protesters outside your house. I think I remember you telling us you had to run the bath a little louder for your young son to drown out the sound of the people outside. Talk a little bit about what that time was like for you personally and why you thought it was so important to continue to do your job in the face of it.
Well, first, thanks for having me, and I'm grateful for this recognition and this deep honor. It was a very harrowing time, but it was one that was filled with a great sense of purpose and duty to our nation, to the people of Michigan and our entire country, recognizing step by step every day from the minute the polls closed in November to the minute we saw the tragedy unfold on January 6th. Every day was filled with challenges, all based on lies, to try to overturn the will of the people. And so I was grateful to have a team in Michigan, the governor, the attorney general, all of us working together to protect the will of the people. But it was very harrowing. And every day I woke up thinking, surely the most recent thing we've overcome was the last thing. And then January 6th really showed that this was just the beginning of what ultimately unfolded to be a multi-year, multifaceted effort that we're in many ways still in the midst of, to overturn the very principles of our country and our democracy.
And of course, there is almost now this family of secretaries of state around the country like yourself. You can go across the map and go to Arizona and go across to Georgia and go to Pennsylvania and all those states where there were challenges from Donald Trump and his supporters to you just carrying out your responsibilities and doing your jobs. Do you speak to them about that time? You're Democrats, you're Republicans, but you all were doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. We have actually become a close-knit, sort of linked through the duty that we felt, and in some cases the trauma that we experienced together. It's been really gratifying to see one of us, Al Schmidt, who is also being honored today, now being nominated by Governor-elect Shapiro in Pennsylvania to serve as the Secretary of the Commonwealth there for the upcoming 2024 cycle. So it really reflects how, as we've built strength together through our common experiences, and it's made us more prepared for any types of shenanigans or attempts that might occur again in the future, particularly as we careen towards the 2024 presidential election.
And Secretary Benson, good morning. That's exactly where I wanted to go with you, is that, this you're being honored today, of course, what happened in 2020, but we had the 22 cycle as well. There were election deniers on the ballot. Your state largely defeated. But there's certainly many people believe this could still be a real danger in 2024. Candidates, yes, but also perhaps rhetoric from the other party that would inspire people to commit acts of political violence again. Tell us a little bit about steps your state is taking ahead of what will be an extraordinarily high-intensity presidential election in 24.
Well, we anticipate that a lot of the same tactics and levers that were pulled in 2020 will be attempted again. We've been anticipating that really throughout the last several years. So that's why we've been building coalitions across the state and across the country and all of the 6 states that were targeted to make sure we're ready and stronger than ever. We have recruited tens of thousands of new election workers. Our clerks have been trained and supported with more funds for security to ensure they're ready to address the ongoing threats and harassment they've been enduring that's rooted in these lies and misinformation that continue to spread unabated. What we really need to help with are 2 things: more funding from the state and federal government for increased election security, particularly as we get into the 24 election cycle and those threats start to increase. And secondly, we need accountability. I mean, the voters exacted political accountability in 2022, rejecting election deniers who wouldn't stand by the will of the people in 2020. Now we need legal accountability as well. And I think a lot of what today is about, as Officer Dunn mentioned, is making sure we continue to see that in the future.
Secretary Benson, I'm in light of Senator Stabenow's announcing her retirement, there's some positions open in national office. I'm just wondering if you are considering stepping up and running.
Well, look, I think defending democracy is the most important issue of our time. And I'm always going to do whatever I can, wherever I am, to have the greatest impact possible in defending the people of Michigan and making sure they're protected and their voices are heard. I think today is a moment to celebrate, the work that we've done and the honor we're receiving. And also in this moment, the contribution Senator Stabenow has made over her decades of experience and leadership. She's going to leave a significant hole in leadership in our state, and I'm confident that we will work together as a party, as the Democratic Party, to ensure it's filled and that we maintain that seat for the Democratic Party.
So not a no. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We appreciate your service. Thank you.